Welcome to Stage Black. I'm Latia Suttle, one of your hosts, retired Chief Warrant Officer. On today's show, we're going to give a little information about the National Association of Black Military Women's National Convention, 23rd Biannual Convention in Chicago. I have here with me my co-host.
Hello, everyone. I am Daphne D. Wright, a United States veteran and former cryptologist. I'm the co host of the new show Stage Black. Always been here, not going anywhere. I'm excited to have two amazing women veterans on our September show. We're highlighting their lives and their stories. Today, we hold in remembrance all of the lives lost on 9/11 and celebrate those that survived. Our first guest is one of those survivors. Please welcome United States Army veteran Janice Jackson to the Stage Black Show. Janice was born in Darlington, South Carolina. She's the oldest of five siblings, four girls and one boy. She's the only one of her siblings that decided to move from the state of South Carolina. Janice joined the Army in 1996 and served 7 years as an automated logistics specialist. She was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and Fort Belvedere, Virginia. Janice was in the Pentagon attack on 9/11 and was honorably discharged from the military shortly after that. She takes pride and joy in being a mother of two daughters and a grandmother to one little girl. Her oldest daughter followed in her footsteps and joined the Army. Janice started her educational journey early, receiving a business clerical certification in 1998. She went on to receive a bachelor's degree from Strayer University in computer networking, a master's degree in engineering management and computer forensics from George Washington University, and she's a proud member of Kappa Epsilon Psi Military Sorority Incorporated. She currently works as a scrub master and IT specialist at the United States Patent and Trade Office. She enjoys helping and meeting new people, listening to motivation speeches, traveling the world, watching scary and action packed movies, but most of all, she enjoys spending time with her family and friends. Her forte is helping people and being a team player at all times. Her ultimate goal and dream is to one day open a facility as a mental health advisor to help women who are having difficulties in life. Her motto, be yourself. We're honored to have you on the Stage Black Show today. Welcome, Janice Jackson. How are you?
Um, I'm doing well, as expected, on this anniversary. I just try to live in the moment, and take one day at a time, as life is not promised to anyone. I look at things as I was given a second chance to live my life and to be an inspiration to others and inspire ones that may are going through things, that to let them know that what they're going through might not be as worse as they think, and to inspire younger generations as well as older generations, and to um, sort of be that guide and that shoulder to lean on, you know, just for any little thing. I'm a caregiver. I realized that at an early age when I was a teenager. Actually, my aunt was the first to tell me about that. God bless the dead. But it was after the 9/11 that things sort of came to the forefront, and I started seeing things and realizing that things that I used to think before, I would say, okay, I'm going to go to college, or I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do that. But it was more just a verbal, or verbals, me saying it verbally. So it was not really happening. It wasn't until that tragic day, the 9/11 happened, that it sort of opened my eyes. It sort of pulled the wool from my eyes. It's like I was able to see. It's like I was sort of blinded before, but then it's like I was able to see. And then I took a different approach about things, and that is that I realized that life is not promised to us. We only have one life, and we want to live that to the fullest. And so instead of saying what I was going to do, I started putting it into action. So, you know that saying, action speaks louder than words. So instead of me saying what I was going to do, I just put it into action. I may have said it in my head, but ultimately I put it in action. So that's where my my degrees came from. So I realized that I like working with people, and I also like gadgets. So that's where the degrees and stuff came from. And through that approach, that's where it brought me to where I'm at right now. Um, Ultimately, I'm still working with people because I think that is part of my inspiration, and my forte is to work with people and to do the things that I desire. And that all that came into effect. It was after 9/11 that I realized that. And I am blessed. And my mom say I'm her miracle child. And I'm just blessed to be here by the grace of God. Because if it wasn't for him, I would not be here.
So, on the lines of you, seeing yourself as being a caretaker since you were at a very young age, around high school, you received the Civil Service Award for your heroic acts on 9/11. Can you tell us about the moment when you decided to return back into the the rumble and save another person's life?
So let me just be clear. So I never actually left the actual rumble, where all that stuff actually happened. I was still stuck inside. There's no windows there. It's only one door to enter or exit. There is no windows. And I was in 1D520. So upon that day when all of this chaos was happening,
And this is in the Pentagon, correct?
this is in the Pentagon, correct? When all this happened, I heard a voice that was calling out to me. They gave me this nickname, JJ, because people sort of joked my name because it's Janice Jackson. And if you say it really fast, it sounds like Janet Jackson. So
Yes,
so
it
they came
does.
up with so they came up with the nickname of JJ. And so I heard this voice, and it was like, JJ, help me. So it's sort of like the instinct sort of kicked in, the military instincts kicked in. Even though at this time I had already had these burns from the fire, the second and third degree burns, to my hair, my face, as well as my hand. Um, and it was like it was an angel there. As I proceeded to follow the voice, it was like a little light, and the light was guiding me. So as I was proceeding, I followed the light. And it's like all of a sudden, it's like the winds blew right inside. And I was able to see her. And she was covered in debris from her waist down. Keep in mind that I already had these burns on my hand. But like with anything, blisters, they don't actually populate right away. So it takes them a few minutes to expand. So I was able to pull her out of that, from the debris, that she was covered in. And that light, remember that light that I told you that I was following? That light turned into a hole in the wall. So if you look at the photos that they have online, you will see that there's a part of the Pentagon that sort of leans over, and there's like a hole in there. You know, that is the thing that we came out of. But the thing is, we crawled out because the hole was sort of small. So we crawled out of there. There was no one coming in. There were people standing on the outside, but there was no one coming in. So we were our only hope. I was her only hope. And by the grace of God, He sent those angels in there to help me to help her to get out of there. So we crawled through that opening, and then we saw the light. That was nothing but the grace of God.
Wow, you are truly a hero. Yeah, that's incredible. Um, I have reading your bio. I know you have a motto, a personal motto: "Be yourself." Can you talk to us about that and how that has influenced you um, through your day to day, and how it influenced your dream to one day open a facility as a mental health advisor? I have no doubt that you would do it, but can you just tell us how you use that model to sort of thrust you forward?
Well, I think that before the 9/11, I was more of a shy type of person. So I never really like talked a lot. So it was things I thought I would always keep them to myself. So I was sort of an introvert. So I sort of stayed to myself. It wasn't until after the 9/11 happened that it's like it opened up doors for me. And it's like, so to be yourself, meaning speak out. If you think something that's important, it's going to help someone, or if it's going to help a company or help someone who's in going through something tragic. So what I mean by be yourself, just speak whatever's on your mind. Don't sugarcoat anything. Just say what it is. Sometimes it might not come out as good, to the other person. It might be hurtful, but the thing is, in the end, it will actually help that person, because you're speaking it from your heart, and it's no ill intent, but it's all about just being yourself. If you have to sugarcoat something or sit back and say, okay, well, no, I don't want to say this because this might be this way, you're not being yourself. You're letting someone control how you speak and how you react and how you respond. So it's all about being yourself. Once you become yourself, you feel more at peace with yourself. You there's not um stress. It's not stressful. You're more relaxed, and you're comfortable inside your own skin, and you're able to accomplish many things once you overcome that hurdle. So with that being said, it has allowed me to continue my journey to spread the word about what I've gone through and to help others. And by doing so, I realized that this is sort of something that God wants me to do, and that is to help others. And that's where the caretaker comes in. Help others, meaning that I believe that now I have what they call an intuition. Um, so I can feel when something's not right with people. And it just comes to my heart to say, how's your day? And sort of spark up a conversation just to see what it is that I can do to help them or to make their day better.
Well,
And so,
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh
We
no, God.
appreciate your positive outlook on life, and we appreciate you coming to Stage Black to really inspire us, and tell us, people want to hear their stories of the survivors, because we hear a lot about the people we lost and less about the people who are still here, that we want to also celebrate. We also have another guest on our show.
Yes, our next guest is a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Arthurine Jones. She served 27 years in the military. Uh, She also did 2 tours in Iraq in support of Iraqi freedom. She also earned 3 Bronze Stars and was awarded a Combat Action Badge for engaging in the enemy and taking on enemy fire. Arthurine Jones is a noteworthy retired federal agent. And during her 22-year tenure as a criminal investigator, she was awarded, several awards for doing an outstanding job. We'd like to welcome you here to today's show, ma'am. How
Oh,
you doing
thank
today?
you.
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you and bless you. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, as a federal, you were a federal agent or federal law enforcement agent. What field did you work in exactly while in the military, or were you a federal agent after you got out of the military?
Yes, it was ongoing. I was a federal agent 1811 with the United States Postal Inspection Service, where I served as an undercover agent. I served in pornography, child pornography. I served in undercover drug operations, mail fraud, bombs in the mail, etc. And when I was called up, my job supported me in that venture. So it was an ongoing multi career.
So you would never, because when I was in the U.S. Army as well, and I was always hear of the CID, and so you did not work with the CID while you were in the military.
No, we had what we call SID, but it's undercover investigations on employees with that in that branch. And so my civilian occupation involved being a federal agent, and my military position, I was under civil military operations.
Hmm. Okay. And so what did you do at civil operations?
Civil military operations comes in existence when there is a war or there is some type of hostility, and we are branches from all across a government. Because as you see, when governments are fighting or in battle, most things involving the government are destroyed: infrastructure, their rule of law, their transportation, the schools, just anything that allows a society to function falls under military operations.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you was telling me before too, like while we had shown a picture of you and Barack Obama. Was that a surprise appearance there in Iraq?
Yes, it was. We always had dignitaries who traveled inside the war zone. And he was there. And because I was from Illinois and I was in charge of the military rule of law, working with the ambassadors and lawyers from all across the United States, they thought it would be quite efficient for me to be the person to have breakfast with him and discuss his options and his concerns, his strategic plan for serving as our President of the United States of America. So it
Wow.
was indeed a surprise and a pleasure.
Right. I know that had to be exciting.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So, and then I also read in your bio where you continue to fight against terrorism. Like, what does that look like to you?
Well, we are Americans, and I tell you, going from America to other countries to see just what they have to endure, I am just so proud to be an American. And our values and our freedoms are not free. Just as I had the pleasure of listening in on Miss Jackson's beautiful uh, experience and her outlook on life now, she is one of those people that, as a military person, we want to make sure that we fight to keep terrorism away from our country and away from destroying us. Unfortunately, that didn't happen on 9/11.
Right. Right. And I know you do a lot of volunteer work in the community, something with Gold Star families and like adopting families. You know, some family members do unfortunately lose family members when they go out to fight for our country. What type of work do you do with that, the Gold Star families?
Well, the Gold Star family is a family whereby they have a member who serves our country, and as a result of their active duty service, they don't come home. And so Sergeant Simone A. Robinson, she's a fallen comrade in Afghanistan. and she left a 2-year-old daughter with her grandmother to be with her grandmother for maybe a year and a half. However, she never came back. She was hit by an IED, that's an improvised explosive device. And I have met personally with her battle buddies who carried her body off the battlefield while she was still alive. And they said that she sang, "This joy I have, the world didn't give it. The world can't take it away." I'll never forget that.
Mm,
And you know what? Now, Miss Jackson was a survivor 9/11.
right.
Well, there was a person there by the name of Silla. He was a firefighter. He was off duty that day, but in the area. And so he went to duty to meet with his squad. When he got there, they were finishing up, but he said, "I'll stay." He took body after body, people after people. He led them out of that building. However, he never came back and his body was never found. His
Mm,
family were in a lot of pain, but through their pain, they established the Silla Towers to Tunnels Foundation. And what that does is they give homes to first responders
mm,
and military people when their loved one doesn't come home. And this family, we've been with her since 2009. Every year we go to the cemetery with her family. We also help with the family with all of their needs in association and partnership with other organizations. Well, her grandmother called me one day and said, "I'm just so tired. I'm trying to find a safe place." Because whenever I would go visit her, I would visit 3 times. And within 9 months, she's in another apartment trying to find a safe place for her grandbaby, Nizia. And it was the pandemic, but I got on the telephone. I worked those phones. I called everybody I knew who I thought knew somebody who could help. As a result, that Gold Star family is in a mortgage free home in Oak Forest, Illinois. They are
that's,
thriving and doing well.
that's
They
Hallelujah.
awesome.
have a lot of trauma, but they're in a safe home.
That's amazing.
Yes, that is truly stellar. You know, your service extends far beyond what you did on the battlefield. You are
Mm,
still in the trenches, and and I say, you know, I'm a military veteran. Latia is a military veteran. We appreciate the work that you put forth for our veterans. We
Well, thank
really
you
appreciate it.
so much. And just as Miss Jackson stated before, and I'm sorry, I was just so captivated by your presentation. Once you go through something, your healing is going out there and helping somebody else.
mm,
I was hit one of my missions, and I talked with you about that one. I didn't talk with you about the others, but we had people injured, but thank God I didn't lose anyone. But some people are still lost because they're not that whole person.
mm,
And so it's my responsibility. Yeah, it's my calling, my purpose from God
mm,
to help those. So that's what I do. My phone number is out there. People call me 24/7. If a
mm.
woman is homeless and she's got children, she's out there. Our organization, National Women's Veterans United, where Rochelle Crump is the president, and we're celebrating our 20th year anniversary next year.
That's outstanding.
We go out and get those people, and
Mm,
we provide them immediate care in homes because you know what? The
mhm,
government and all of these other organizations, they are important and they help, but they are only open 9 to 5.
mhm.
They're off on the weekends. People who
Right.
are homeless in need are homeless and in need 24/7.
Right, ma'am. And also, we thank you so much for the work that you can continue to do with these organizations. There's another organization that has chapters all up throughout the country. They'll be having their national convention September 18th through the 22nd. It's with the National Association of Black Military Women.
I will be there.
Oh, that is
I will
outstanding.
be there with my sisters.
Okay. Will this be your first time attending?
Yes, it will be. I made my schedule available. Now, if an emergency comes up, I will have to leave because my veterans and my families in need
Uh-huh.
are first and foremost. My family knows that.
All right. Well, we appreciate you attending the convention. So, for those watching the show, if you want more information about the National Association of Black Military Women, you can go to their website, nabmw.org. And I think Daphne has some more information about Stage Black that she'll share.
I want to thank our guest, United States Army veteran Janice Jackson and retired Lieutenant Colonel Arthurine Jones, our show producers at American Hero Group, and our co-host and segment producer, Latia Suttle. I'm Dee Wright. We look forward to seeing you next month, October the 9th, and every second Wednesday on Stage Black. Always been here, not going anywhere.
Thanks for what you do, ladies.